The Institute of Nautical Archaeology's 2001 underwater survey along the Turkish coast ended with the discovery of a 6th century BC shipwreck at Pabuç Burnu near Bodrum. This was exciting, for no wreck of that date had ever been excavated in the eastern Mediterranean. We began the 2002 Smothers Bruni expedition to Pabuç Burnu with an early June meeting in the Mary and Lamar II's reading room of INA's Bodrum Library. Once more, we had an international team made up of both new faces and INA veterans. Because the site was so close to Bodrum, we decided to commute daily. What's the status of the catamaran now?
Today they're going to put the port side alternator back together.
We weighed anchor each morning after the 15 to 20 minute drive to the Ichmele shipyard on the outskirts of Bodrum. Beyaz Subay was again captain of Virazon. And Murat Tilev was once more skipper of our catamaran Milawanda, the support vessel for our submersible Carolyn. We could have driven farther out of Bodrum and boarded our vessels closer to the excavation site, but the 45-minute sail each morning and evening gave additional time on board to keep up with the daily log and other records, to prepare the recompression chamber for any emergency, and to tend to other important matters. Elizabeth Greene, Assistant Project Director in charge of archaeology, composed the dive rosters for her twice-daily staff briefings on Virazon. A buoy marked the heavy anchors that allowed us to moor directly above the shipwreck, just off our night watchman's guardhouse. As soon as we were moored, the team sprang into its practice routine, putting the dive ladder over the side, lowering oxygen hoses for the divers to decompress on at the end of every dive, turning the oxygen on, and filling air tanks. The first dive will have veterans of many INA expeditions: engineer Murat Tilev, archaeologist Sheila Matthews, conservator Asaf Uran, and Mark Polzer, a graduate student in the nautical archaeology program at Texas A&M University. The team will spend 20 minutes at a depth of 130 to 140 feet. Their dive carefully controlled by a timekeeper on Virazon who will send over 2,000 dives down and signal them when to come up. Our first task was to install a safety refuge, our underwater telephone booth. Lifting balloons eased the task of moving the heavy iron plates that hold the booth down when it is filled with air. We situated the booth next to the wreck site so that in case of any equipment failure, fresh air was close at hand rather than being more than 100 feet straight up. We then gridded the site with string and put specially designed targets on amphora mouths to aid the digital mapping by photography. Almost immediately, Yaşar Yıldız, representative of the Turkish Ministry of Culture, found and labeled an inakui, or wine pitcher. After it was photographed in situ, Yaşar fanned the sand away, removed it, and carried it in a plastic bucket to the surface. By chance, it was archaeologist Mehmet Yıldız, Yaşar's son, who was waiting on Virazon to take the find. The excavation campaign, which lasted nearly 5 months, was tiring. We did not have enough bunks on Virazon to allow everyone to have a comfortable afternoon siesta, as in past excavation camps. But as usual, we ate well. Water soaks the heat out of your body far faster than air, so divers need plenty of calories, and we got them. After lunch, Elizabeth Greene gave instructions for afternoon dives by conducting the day's second briefing.
This airlift is the one that is shallowest, so it has a tendency to take all of the air. To remedy that problem, we've put a valve on the hose to this airlift. Whoever is working on this upper left airlift cannot open.
Back on the seabed, Excavators used air lifts, nearly vertical suction pipes, to remove the blanket of sand that hid most of the ancient ship's secrets. Other excavators brought baskets down to retrieve newly exposed cargo. As on most ancient Mediterranean wrecks, the most numerous artifacts were cargo amphoras, probably made somewhere along the same coast off which we dived, but farther north, perhaps around Miletus or the island of Samos, although at least one amphora seemed more likely to have originated at Knidos within sight of Pabuç Burnu. We sealed their mouths before raising them to save any valuable organic remains that might be inside. Once on Virzon, amphora contents were carefully examined. In one instance, conservator Asaf Uran assisted in the birth of an olpe, another kind of wine pitcher that had found its way into the amphora.
Like a baby, one more push, one more push.
Remains in the sediment can tell us much about ancient trade and economics. Archaeology students Orkan Koyasiolu and Mehmet Yıldız revealed this amphora's contents by the discovery of a grape seed. A lot of the work of sieving, downloading digital photographs into computers, developing plans, keeping the daily journal, and cataloging artifacts took place on the 45-minute homeward sail to Ichmalir every evening. The days were long. Often Virzon did not reach port until 7 p.m., giving only time to drive home or to the Ionian dormitory, shower, have dinner, and get some sleep before an early morning rise next day. On the one non-diving day each week, our archaeology students, guided by Faith Henschel, stayed busy in INA's Nixon Griffiths Conservation Laboratory. Deniz Soyarslan and Mehmet Yıldız arranged amphoras for Deniz to draw, while Selda Özhan cataloged. And Mark Polzer instructed Mehmet to sketch accurately.
We're trying to capture the features.
Volkan Kaya took most of the artifact photographs. Milawanda did not come out from Ichmalir with their submersible Carolyn every day. When it did, one of our pilots, Feyyaz or Murat, went over the extensive pre-dive checklist. In this case, Feyyaz was pilot. He could take me, or any one of the team archaeologists, to the wreck so that we could observe the excavation in progress for hours at a time instead of only 20 minutes. And we stayed dry, clear-headed, and comfortable for that time. Milawanda was designed and mostly built in Bodrum and is a perfect launching platform.